Hello, Star Wars fans. We are back with another episode of the Starlight Podcast. We've got a star-studded cast as per usual. We've got John Bates, aka Daddy Sheev.
What up?
We've got Lord Dagovere himself from the Sith Temple, from the Dark Temple.
Oh, the Dark Temple. Ready up.
Let's go. Hey, I'm excited. We've got a lot going on here. We were just kind of bouncing around a bunch of different topics that we could kind of touch on. But yeah, first off, how's everybody doing?
Doing good. Ready to chat with some about some Star Wars with you guys.
Yeah, just another day, baby. Let's go. Let it
Let's
flow.
go. Let's go. All right, perfect. So the first thing that we want to talk about since our last recording, we've gotten a screenshot or we've gotten a shot of Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. And it's a still shot, just him and the other main character. Um, the
Flynn
actor
Gray.
is Flynn Gray. Yes. We've gotten a shot of them sitting on a speeder, black and white. Very, very cool was the first thing that I thought. How are we feeling about that?
Mm.
Just kind of screams Star Wars to me, and just kind of looking at it makes me smile. It makes me feel good. I don't know what about it. I think it's just maybe the nostalgia factor, just kind of what they've done to tease the show. Like I'm just getting like old school Star Wars vibes from it, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, gosh. First off, I just want to apologize before I get really crazy. I know I'm like the Michael Irvin of this podcast where I sweat and I'm very loud and I go crazy, okay? But I'm telling you right now, boys, this picture just emanates some type of aura that I haven't felt since the first teaser photo of The Mandalorian. And my God, man, I am so damn excited for this. I cannot believe how excited I am for a photo because when I first heard it in Celebration, I was like, I don't know, Ryan Gosling, I love him. He's cool, but like Star Wars. And then I saw this photo and I shut the F up, baby. I am ready to go. I don't care who's on that cast roll. I am just ready to go. Do you see that speeder, man? Did you
Come on.
see the
Come on.
speeder? Let's go.
Dude, I am so excited for this shot. First off, Ryan Gosling is one of my favorite actors. I absolutely love him. He's like top three. It's like him, Timothy Chalamet. I love, and there's someone else in there, but I don't like. Here's the deal.
He can't even. He doesn't even know the third way. He's just that excited. Yeah.
This picture is aura exemplified.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
screams aura.
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
First off, Ryan
Look at him.
Gosling is just cool to begin with,
yeah.
right? The fact that he's got like a poncho almost, a little throw over, sitting on the speeder is awesome. And I think that when more shots come out like this, they need to start like slowly giving us
Yes.
trickles and little treats and little
Hmm.
stuff. And then like it has to remain kind of a mystery about what this movie is basically going to do. We got a little bit of a snippet from when it was announced at Celebration, but like I need more shots like this, and I need this style and this aura to kind of continue throughout all of this. And I'm excited because this is the farthest that we've gone into the timeline. I want new stories with new characters that don't necessarily intertwine themselves with the Skywalker saga. And I think this is a great, great, great first step to be able to do that, especially in theaters.
Yes.
I like I don't know. This shot to me is awesome. And it's reminiscent of what we got in The Mandalorian. And like it's one of my Mandalorian's one of my favorite Star Wars shows. So like what are you guys expecting from this? Do you like what has been the reactions that you guys have seen? And I know Dagavere's we are in the Star Wars
Yeah.
content sphere.
Yes.
So what are we hearing about this?
So, on my stream, I was telling you guys, and also in my Discord, there's a lot of people that are not hype, just like specifically not hype. And it's not because of Ryan Gosling or the announcement. They actually feel pretty cool about this. Like, oh my God, they might be cooking, and we'll get into like, the cast, but also like screenwriters and everything else who are a part of this. But I think it's just because a lot of people are quite hesitant to just like fixate and focus on this excitement for Star Wars, because guess what? Movies get canceled, get sidelined, whatever it is. I mean, dude, it was like a couple Star Wars celebrations ago where we had an entire slate of Star Wars shows like the Lando movie and Droids, and so many other things that you didn't hear. Taika Waititi's movie or Ryan Johnson's trilogy, So I absolutely understand everybody's frustration with the idea of like, okay, well, this didn't work out. But there's one thing that this doesn't have in common with everything else. Not only did they announce announce this at Star Wars Celebration and had the actor on hand and the director, they also were letting everybody know that they were filming like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have this and it's actually happening. So this is set in motion, and when I was talking with everybody else on the stream, yes, they are so valid with their criticisms, but they could not deny the aura and the cast and the screenplay, who I also dislike, Top Gun Maverick and Tron Legacy, which is one of my favorite movies. I think they might have cooked. That's all I'm saying. I think they might have cooked. So we'll see.
And it seems like we're getting that sort of like Andor treatment where it's like, hey, we're gonna kind of ball out for this. Like we've got some good cast members. Like we've got some photos and the set. I mean, that set looks really nice. Like it looks high quality. And I mean, what else would you expect from like a Star Wars movie? But like this looks legit and it kind of has a different feeling to it as opposed to some of the other announcements, like you said, where we got 26 announcements and a calendar for when all of these things are going to come out, and we've only gotten like only a couple of the shows. So that is the difference to me, and we see it happening right now in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I like that it's kind of like its own announcement. I also like some of the other casts that got announced it too. I know the one guy's from Doctor Who, Matt Smith.
Matt Smith.
I know that he looked familiar when I just Googled his image. And some of the other ones too, Mia Goth, Daniel Ings, Aaron Pierce, like I've seen them around. So the one thing I have seen online is some people are like, oh, there's too many A-list celebrities. Like typically, like that's the one like criticism I'm hearing, which I don't know if that's really valid at all. I'm excited for, some of these actors to be in Star Wars. Like you kind of already said it, Connor. Like Ryan Gosling in Star Wars, that's kind of intriguing to me. I think he's a great actor, and I would say I am excited for this. I'm excited to see where they go, and gives me another reason to go back into theaters and see Star Wars. I guess the one downside is we gotta wait. Let's take a look at the watch. Over almost 2 years, like a year and like 8 months. So that sucks, but otherwise, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm okay with waiting as long as it's going to be peak. Because
It's good. Yeah.
yeah, I do believe that Star Wars is in a very sensitive era right now where you just came off the hot and fresh Andor baby, but not everybody has seen Andor. A lot of people feel like, that maybe that's not really Star Wars. There's no force, there's no lightsabers. I understand the criticism. I have those criticisms as well. I know, of course. But Andor is peak. Andor looks good. It sounds good. The writing is fantastic. It's got some of the best acting in Star Wars ever. And don't even get me started on the bars of monologues that are in this show. But I tell you one thing, if we do not get a replication of how the quality of that show and isn't transferred into movies or replicated into the movies like Mando and Grogu like this, I am not sure if people will be excited about movies going forward, because it seems like Disney and Lucasfilm, or both of them, have not learned from their past. And that is the most terrifying thing and possibility that we have. But when I look at this photo, because I haven't seen anything from Mando and Grogu, Starfighter might be the truth. And I'm hoping it is. And if it is, and if Mando and Grogu is also good, maybe there's potential here for this Rey movie to also be something fantastic. I don't know. It's possible, but this is reality, and what can happen will happen.
They have to hit. on these two movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we've talked.
I
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
I
John.
was
Yeah.
just gonna say we've talked before in the pod, and I'll reiterate it again, Dagovere. You've made this point a couple times. Is yes, Andor's great, but it's a TV show. People watch
Mhm.
Star Wars for movies.
Yes.
That's the main attraction. So they need to hit on these movies, um, because that's your core main audience that's gonna go watch that mainly watches Star Wars is movies. So, you know, with these two films coming up, they better be good and bring
Hmm.
some hype back to the franchise because Andor definitely helped. But again, it's a show and not a movie. So hopefully, it is good. What were you gonna say, Connor?
They have to hit on these two movies because
Yes.
Oh, have to.
this is the springboard that will be
They
the
need the
next
momentum.
trilogy. It'll be the next trilogy that we see is based off of how well these movies do, whether it's a Mandoverse trilogy or whether it's a new Jedi Order trilogy with Rey, and that also includes the Rey movie itself. They have to hit on this because if they don't, I fear that it will fade the excitement and almost the trust in Star Wars fans because, like you said, Dagovere, we are at kind of like a tipping point where
Hmm.
we've gotten some stuff that's been not so great, but then they just showed us that they can be that great. And that
Exactly.
has to be reciprocated in these movies. And I'm more confident in Starfighter, to be honest, just based off of that photo
Yes.
than the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, because I've seen what we've got with Mando and Grogu. It's fantastic. It's faded a little bit for me as a watching season one going to season three. It fades a little bit for me, so I need them to up the game again. And
Hmm.
we haven't gotten that much from Mandalorian and Grogu. We've gotten nothing except for a title card
Is
from
this
I
supposed to come
think
out
Star
next
Wars
year?
Celebration. It's coming out this May. So
Yeah. And there's been nothing else about it yet. So that's very interesting. Um,
it may be a cause for concern that we haven't gotten like a full trailer yet. I think maybe it was is
it's
has
gotta
it
come
been leaked?
soon.
Has it been leaked in Star Wars Celebration? Like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what I thought. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It was
Yeah.
at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah. Yeah. The parts of it, and from I didn't hear positive things about it because it just looked so, you know, alpha stage, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this. Obviously, well, I don't even think it's obviously. Is like I honestly believe that Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be the weaker of these movies that are coming out. When Mando and Grogu versus Starfighter. That doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. I just think it's going to be weaker. The reason why I think that we haven't seen stuff is because of that. Is because maybe this was in production around the same time, if not even maybe even earlier than Andor, and especially in terms of a script. And maybe Starfighter is a part of this new era and this new process that we're hoping to create these new films were, which is probably, hopefully, also why the Rey movie was pushed back to allow this to breathe, get momentum, and then force feed Rey, which is a very polarizing character, into the fan base that is highly critical of the previous Disney Star Wars movies. That is what I'm hoping for. It makes sense to me, but I'm not in the room where it happens. So who gives a shit what I say?
No,
Let's
I
get you in the
agree.
room.
I agree. Like remind me, this movie takes place 5 years after episode nine, correct?
Yeah, around 5, 6, something like that. Yeah.
The
What,
Ray movie takes
Mando?
place 15.
Starfighter. So Starfighter takes place after episode 9.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And
Um,
then Mando and Grogu, of course, is in the Mandoverse.
right, but the Ray movie, that's 15 years, right?
Something like that.
I think the Rey movie is it 15 years? Are they not
I
around the
know it's
same?
gonna be in the future, and from what I've heard is, it's gonna be like Rey, like training Jedi, kind of,
Mm.
right? Yeah. What do
So
you guys know?
I do not know like whether we should take that stuff, for granted or not, because what we know is that the movie's happening. They've been happening because Daisy Ridley was there, and I do not see her risking her entire career for a movie that doesn't exist.
Hmm.
So clearly she's back. They want to make more movies with her. What are these movies going to be about? I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I just feel like as of right now, I wouldn't even think about what this movie is until we have something more solidified and more in 2026, 2027, where this movie is like a year away from us, And
Yeah.
I think it getting pushed back is a good thing because I think that movie obviously is going to dictate the future of Star Wars and whether or not people are going to take this shit seriously anymore, you know, because there's a lot that I think this movie needs to do correctly, including Finn, including other things like Poe and everybody else, and also developing 20 plus years of story and setting that foundation. So, but that's just my view of it. I'm a fan. So at the end of the day, I see this stuff differently than everybody else. But I'm hoping that's why it got pushed back. And I just not going to take any story stuff seriously until we get something more official like the Starfighter announcement.
Yeah. Everything that I'm seeing, I'm on Utini right now, the website, approximately 15 years is what has been reported.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that it would get delayed a little bit. I mean, let this era start off with the beginning.
Yeah.
With Starfighter taking place only a couple of years after the last thing that we saw in theaters. So it makes sense as a next step for that timeline.
Yeah.
I am so curious as to what this movie is going to see the galaxy as, where we have no more Sith at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine is dead. Dead. We know he's gone.
Unless,
yeah. Don't get me
my
started.
guy is back. No,
and then this turns into a Palpatine glazing episode again.
Where we just slurp Palpatine for 10 minutes.
Right.
I'm ready to go, but nah, joking. But yeah, Connor, there are no Sith technically at this point, huh?
Yeah, I'm more curious to see what the state of the galaxy will be for the Republic or whatever will be the government, because especially in the Rey movie, it'll bleed into that a little bit because I think they did not do a good job of setting up the state of the galaxy for the sequels. You just kind of had to go into the theater and be like, all right, this is what's happening. There's another power that is, gigantic. It's building another Death Star. Like, how did we even let this happen? The last thing I saw was them partying on Endor, and now there's an entire government that has since been built and then also collapsed.
And then got immediately murked in the film by a giant, even more powerful Death Star that just nuked 7 planets in like the first hour of the film. That's all you get. Yeah. So maybe cool to see a little more of that building. I'd also like to see a new kind of threat. I know you guys are more familiar with the Old Republic, or the High Republic, excuse me. Where you had the Nihil and some of those other factions. I'd be curious if they went down a route like that of like another maybe like pirate threat of some kind, maybe something a little less traditional.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think even too, like you bring up a really good point about not just new threats. I talk about renegade darksiders all the time. I talk about fallen Jedi, dark Jedi, all these type of things I think are really interesting, but also different religions of the Force as well. Maybe even some that come from outside the known galaxy, which I think could be really interesting. You have Jedi Fallen Order, and of course, all the old Jedi Knight games. There's just so many things to choose from if you really want to bring in different factions. But I think another thing is like we've seen technology in so many different forms in Star Wars, and I don't want to see more super destroyer, planet busters. I want to see something different. Funny enough, I think that one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in Star Wars is actually is kind of like this terraforming destroyer. I can't remember what they're called, but they're from the Dark Empire series where Palpatine has made them, and they basically suck to a planet and just start terraforming the entire planet like wicked crazy. But that's like still like in that super Death Star type stuff. I think that it's time to do something new, that feels familiar but also different, and a good different. And I don't think the sequel trilogy took enough risks in terms of doing something. I love the Supremacy. I think the Supremacy was really cool. Snoke's main ship, his flagship. If that thing was bombing planets or something, like, just like some stealth bomber in space, cool, that'd be pretty crazy. But I still think there would be something different here that we have to do and figure out. I think that's something that I really look forward to in Star Wars.
Yeah, I think like as you were saying that, to me, I don't want another resistance or rebellion.
Yeah.
That I think has been played out a little bit too much. So, I think, yeah, there has to be a threat where maybe like everybody in this galaxy bands together, against an outside threat, like you were saying.
Mhm.
Maybe unknown
Um,
regions.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I talk about a lot of my source books and everything, and also Knights of the Old Republic has fantastic world building things. Even some of the older Star Wars comics go into like these crazy weird things about the depth of gods and everything. There's also, which maybe is like a podcast in itself, and I'm probably gonna like drop some seeds here. There is some unreleased, unpublished books from Legends that were about to be released and had been worked on for like years and years and then never came to fruition because of the acquisition from Disney. And it's called Supernatural Encounters, and it just like talks about like anything and everything that's happening with like it explains everything, like who Revan's parents are, like why our humans exist, and just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But they get into like supernatural stuff like Star Weirds and Abeloth, and then all this crazy stuff about the Rakatans and the Gree, and just like insane technology stuff that is kind of like, in my opinion, Lord of the Rings, where it's like this Silmarillion or Cimmerian of that book that is just kind of like this encyclopedia of like the origin story of the entire world and universe of Star Wars. And I think that you can dive into things like that without being it to the point where it's just like this isn't Star Wars. I think if you just take bits and pieces of that, and have your own spin, I think that's where you can get some new factions and some new craziness. Yeah, maybe it is this faction or companies taking over the galaxy because that's all that has power because they have money. Deej, we haven't seen Deej, but I thought his little stuff in Last Jedi, what he was talking to Finn, was really compelling about how these
Oh
companies are
yeah.
moving everything. They're selling to both sides. That's also kind of part of like George Lucas's story for the sequel
Okay.
trilogy, where
What
he
about that
wanted,
guy? I liked
yeah,
him.
yeah, he was
yeah.
really interesting.
And we
But even
never saw him
still,
again. So
no, I never saw him again. No, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, yeah. But I think there's a lot, man, you could do, and I would love to see like I said, factions from outside the galaxy come in, and it could be a three-way faction war, but then they're conquering because they're actually running away from something else. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do. Man, it's Star Wars, man. It's a whole universe, not a
yeah,
galaxy.
you can
Yeah.
go a lot of different ways.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Daisy Ridley back. She I read an article with her talking about like how thankful she was that she was in Star Wars because then it allowed her to, kind of explore these like smaller films that she's been doing recently. Like she doesn't have to take a movie because obviously she's very wealthy
Hmm.
with all of her Star Wars stuff, but like she's very thankful to Star Wars and to Kathleen Kennedy and to everybody who was involved in those projects because that lifted her career and basically set her up to be able to kind of do what she wants. So the fact that she's coming back is like very big for me because she doesn't have to. There's no reason that Daisy Ridley would have to come back, if she didn't want to. But the fact that she is like very involved in what seems like the plot and, she's very invested in it. I think that spells well for like the movie in general because if she's invested the main character, that makes the entire production better.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I'm excited for this movie. What
Starfighter or Ray, or both of them.
Or everything.
well, I'm excited for both of them.
Oh,
I was talking about the
okay.
Rey movie,
Okay, yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, I don't like. I want to be excited, and I genuinely I am. I'm always gonna see Star Wars, but for me, like, just give this girl a goddamn good script, man. Like,
Yeah,
genuinely, like,
I
just give
mean,
her a good. Because I've seen
you
her in other
put the effort
movies.
in. That's all I
Yeah,
ask. Just make something good, man. That's all we want.
yeah. Because for me, it's like like, all right, Rise of Skywalker. We always talk about, and for me, it's always the marketing stuff where I see Oscar Isaac and John Boyega and Daisy Ridley, and Kelly Marie Tran, like all like looking at each other when they know like what the movie is, and they're like, "What this is happening? I don't know, you guys." They seem very negative about it.
hmm
Even Daisy. you know? So I think what's kind of crazy is like, there is some excitement, obviously, with her coming back. Is it more money? Of course, everybody wants more money. But at the end of the day, too, I saw genuine excitement that I hadn't seen since like maybe The Force Awakens with her, or even The Last Jedi pre-Rise, when I saw that movie.
Yeah.
So just give this damn girl a good story, please, man, because I really don't want more excuses to consistently critique and hate this franchise that I love so much. Like, just give her a good story, please, for the love of God. And I guarantee you, people will shut up.
Yeah. The only thing that could make that better would be Kylo Ren being alive.
Depression.
That to me, yes, that to me is like the biggest hole moving forward in Star Wars is he should be there.
Yeah.
He should be like he should
Yeah.
be a keystone of the stories. Everything should sort of revolve around him and Rey, the dyad that came together that is now moving forward. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that. I needed a lone wolf Kylo for a while. I needed him to
Mhm.
go repent. I needed him to go hide in the woods, become a healer, come back, save somebody. Like all of that, like almost the Barriss Offee story where we see her, kind of give up
Mm.
being a Jedi or
And
an
Tales of the
Inquisitor
Empire.
until the Empire, where
Yeah.
she becomes and just tries to help people. I think that's an arc that Kylo should go on, but he obviously cannot.
Yeah. I see Daddy Sheev wanting to say something for a while now.
I was going to just make the joke. Well, somehow Palpatine returned. Maybe somehow Kylo Ren can return.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, what if there's some way that Rey, with I'm not as familiar with the Force dyad, but Rey's Palpatine, and maybe she can do some things and bring our boy back. I can only
Mm.
hope, but probably not.
So, all right, I want to talk about Kylo Ren. I want to talk about Kylo Ren.
Yeah, let's go into
I want to
Kylo
talk
Ren.
about the story of Kylo Ren and what should have, would have, could have happened. Jedi Connor, you bring up a really good idea about Barriss Offee's story. I don't think that's enough. I wouldn't want a full, complete redemption of Kylo Ren as a Jedi. In fact, I think that Kylo should have been something more. He's a Skywalker at the end of the day. The last blooded Skywalker that we have, and all these bastards are dead now. So
Yeah,
it's so
Bloodline's
frustrating.
over, right?
It's anyway. So uh and I always talk about Legends comics and yada yada yada. Of course I'm going to talk about this shit, but you look, Keldroma has one of the greatest stories in Star Wars, and he is someone, without spoiling everything, that has a huge redemption arc, to the point where he is kind of an outcast, an outlier, a man with no name almost at the end of his storyline, which is pretty much the entire Dollar trilogy that inspired The Mandalorian, the idea of The Mandalorian. And so if Kylo Ren survives the Battle of Exegol, he should have gone on this road of, it's not just about atoning, it's about doing what's right. And I think that discards the label of Jedi and maybe becomes something that Anakin Skywalker never could have, or maybe should have. And I would have just loved this guy that also probably would have been a brute, very ruthless, because he is a Skywalker, and at the end of the day, and he does have that, Force Jesus blood inside of him. Maybe he could have done things that no one else could have if he had tapped into this potential that wasn't, of course, shackled by a dogma of the Jedi or a vision of the Sith, or whatever dark siders that he's following, or touching the shadow, as they say, from the Knights of Ren. I think that there was so much potential that he could have done, where maybe he would have helped Rey, or maybe he wouldn't have helped Rey because he believed that this is not what the Force wants me to do. I don't want to say it, but he could have been, what.
No great Jedi. No great Jedi.
I was thinking that.
Get out of here.
Like 10 minutes ago.
But
You don't want to say the name.
Obviously, he's not, because he's not a Jedi. But he could have been something else on
Make
this
it
level.
canon.
on that level of, I am a Skywalker, and this is
Yeah.
what I do. I am the guardian and conduit of the Force, and now I am reaching this part where only I can do this, because it's not because I'm worthy, it's because it's needed, and I would have loved to see a story like that, but you killed him.
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like the Bendu is what you're talking about.
Bendu.
Yes. Oh,
What a
so
guy.
you guys all know who the Bendu is.
Of course.
Yeah.
He was
So
really interesting.
all right. I have a hot take. I think the Bendu's a bitch. I think the Bendu's a
Whoa,
coward.
whoa.
I think he's a coward. I think he's a joke. I think he is someone that just casts himself aside and doesn't want to do anything with all of his knowledge and power. And the moment the war starts coming onto his planet, he gets upset and falls to the dark side, by the way. And I don't like the Bendu. I mean, I think the Bendu is amazing and he's very mysterious and I want to know more. But as a person, and him sitting there pretending that he's better than everybody else and holding the holocron of Darth Maul and everything, I don't like his ideology and I think it's flawed.
I hate that take.
Yeah,
I hate that take.
Get this guy out of here.
I'm just kind of stunned right now, to be honest. I'm lost for words.
I think he is the closest thing that you're talking about in canon right now, where he's like drifting to wherever it takes him, like wherever the Force takes him. But we don't know that much about him, so I can't say for sure that this is what the Bendu is. Like, he's very mysterious.
He's mysterious.
He says that he's in the middle. He is
the one in the middle.
Is the conduit of the Force itself. Yeah. So it's like he's not allied to anything. I have no idea what the hell he is, but to me, that's what it sounds like you're talking about, where he's doing what's right. And I think,
did the Bendu do what's right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, he's not doing what is quote unquote right.
You didn't like when he made a Force storm and messed up Thrawn and got
only
mad
because he got mad when Kanan was preaching to him the entire
time
about this.
Jedi Knight.
Yeah, Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight. It was also crazy too. Matt Smith is, of course, Doctor Who, and that guy that voices his act was also one of the doctors as well. Just I'm letting you guys know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know we were getting Bendu Slander today. That was on my bingo card.
All right.
I just thought he was interesting. Like, I think it's an interesting.
Yes.
I just say this. I thought it was an interesting concept that in Rebels, like with his character, they explored like just different kind of Force users in a sense, and different things in the Force. Like, I always find that very interesting. So I thought his character in general was interesting.
Yes, he is.
Did he kind of get mad for no reason? Was he being kind of a little wow with Kanan? Maybe, but in general, I just found his character very, very unique and interesting. And it was like a season or like a season and a half in Rebels. I thought he was really cool.
Yeah,
the Bendu is like the Force Switzerland. It seems.
Yes, very neutral.
He doesn't get involved with anything, but
he didn't want to get involved, and that's why he was mad at Kanan in the first place, because then he got him involved. Kind of.
But I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's an actual sentient being. I don't know what.
Yeah, if he's created from the Force, if like what he how long he's been around. Like, yeah, we don't know. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hear a coward. That's what I hear. I like genuinely, like, you are witnessing the Empire going around, blow up planets, enslaving stuff, and you say, you know what? I'm not getting involved. That's.
He doesn't want to. He wants to be Switzerland, dude. Can't he just chill out in the South?
I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree with what the Bendu is doing, because to me, the Bendu reminds me of all the shit I hate about the Jedi, like where there's slavery in the galaxy, and you give me this reason that you can't do it or go out and fight it, or at the very least free this one kid's mom. Of course, it's leading back to Anakin Skywalker, So
it seems like we're rooted in our Anakin Skywalker trauma here. Not everything has to go back to Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, there it is.
All right.
But I hope I'm making some point that, in my opinion, the Bendu's just sitting there on this planet, like, alone, like, doing nothing, and he talks about, like, oh, I was there, and I saw things. Man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
he's the Force guide him. He doesn't let outside things guide him.
The way that he acted kind of reminds me of like how people talk about like Force ghosts, where it's like, why can't the Force ghosts get involved and tell this and that. Like they, you know what I mean? It kind of seems like it seems like he's almost on that level, not as like living forever in the Force, but like almost like he can't do anything about it. You
Mm.
know, where like Yoda is not going to come down and destroy the Emperor like with his Force lightning, but like he's going to help Luke if he needs something. Where he sees, which is just goes into like what Force ghosts are, but like it kind of reminds me of that where he's like, oh well, now someone needs my help right now in front of me. I'm gonna give it to them. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh man. I just saw this description when I was Googling the Bendu because I'm now Dagovere, I'm just gonna send you Bendu pictures and upset you. Um Bendu, species unknown.
Yes.
Little is known of Bendu. Though he is a force wielder, he does not subscribe to the philosophies
Mm.
of the Jedi or Sith, identifying himself as the one in the middle.
Mm.
Now, I will say something that just came to my mind. I wonder if he shows up in Ahsoka season 2.
So
That'd be interesting to me.
I think that's interesting because Morai is also there, always with Ahsoka. And
Yes.
then uh um and although I'm a hater, I also well, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not. I actually I do like the Bindu. I just don't like his philosophy because I think it's flawed. I think it's just as flawed as the Jedi, you know? Because he's sitting there holding the holocron and he's talking about, oh, the dark side isn't dangerous and everything else, you know. Anyway, so I'm gonna go on this tangent. But for me, I think that would make sense because if you want to make the Bindu seem even more ancient, I think he should have some involvement with Mortis. If this is where Ahsoka is going, and you already have Morai, the daughter, with Ahsoka, and Morai's spirit is inside Ahsoka because she freaking died, you know. So I think these are all things that are maybe attached to one another. I would just like to know why the hell is the Bendu in the middle in the first place? And what made him say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just gonna sit and watch and be a punk.
Yeah, I'm reading off the Star Wars website right now, and it just
Yeah.
says he's the one in the middle and did
Always.
not partake in any petty battles. So he seems that
Mm.
so
He's seen some stuff.
it seems as though he is like almost on that Mortis level where it's like he's not going to get involved in like the petty stuff of wars. Like
Interesting.
he's it seems like he's more ethereal in the Force than I think than even we imagined, just based off of that one
Cool.
line where it says in petty battles.
Yeah, I like that because that is something to me that like Force ghosts are on this higher plane. You know, this is the oh my god, then he's become more powerful than we can imagine. You know, which is great, and I think Star Wars needs to find a way to evolve that portion of Star Wars. But what happens in Mortis? If this is this petty thing, you know, I think the father is also up his own ass. You know, because that's exactly what happens. I'm sitting here, I'm balancing the force. Anakin Skywalker needs to do this. Oh my god, I brought him here and everybody died. Oh my god. You know, I think it's the
Yeah,
Well,
same thing. I think it's the same thing.
to be
yeah,
fair, he did bring balance. I mean, they're both dead. No,
They all are.
everybody's dead, so that is balance. I'm joking. But yeah, I just found the Bendu very interesting. I'm as you guys were talking to, I was reading more on the wiki and stuff
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Bendu. So yeah, I think he's interesting, and I think it could be interesting to explore more kind of force beings and
Mhm.
force beings that are ancient. So
Yes, yes,
and
exactly.
one could argue that Ahsoka, the Ahsoka show, is really like a continuation of Rebels, and they've already brought other things back from Rebels, so maybe there's some stuff there, maybe there isn't. We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think with Dave Filoni, you're gonna get these things for better or for worse. And you
Yeah,
know
he likes
what?
to incorporate his stuff and into things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
could
You
be
know,
possible.
that's one criticism I don't understand. I understand like having people show up in stories because dude, this guy's literally worked with these characters for years. You know, like some of these characters he's created, some of these characters he's worked with George Lucas. It makes sense to me that he's bringing them in. It's not just for the sake of like member. No, bro, like this is probably something he's thought about for years and years why are we criticizing him about this? But yes, I think it makes sense because this is evolving Ahsoka's story. This is evolving Sabine's story. These are things that are affiliated with them because they've all witnessed it in some capacity, especially Ahsoka. So I urged him to do that. I want him to do it more in a more creative way, in a better way. It's something that I will probably like, and I don't have to criticize too much. How are you going to do that? I don't know. But the Bendu has literally been in the script of Star Wars since the first drafts, because that's what the Jedi were. They're called the Bendu Jedi, So we'll see what happens with that. I love the idea and the creativity that the Bendu has. I'm just not a fan of his ideology.
And let it be noted that the Bendu disappeared at the end of
Yeah,
Rogue.
Yes,
he laughed very
disappeared.
menacingly
And predicted Thrawn's
yes,
death.
many arms
Yes.
surrounding you. That was pretty cool. That was nice.
He will be in Ahsoka season 2. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah, I
he
feel like he's
will
gotta
be
be.
mentioned and or seen in Ahsoka season 2
Yeah, I'd
because
love to learn more.
that's a little bit too much like nail on the head with
Yeah.
with like Shin and Baylon.
Ahsoka the White.
Yeah,
Ahsoka the
so
White.
even Ahsoka, yeah.
We're like,
Oh, now I'm getting excited.
we're like
for
moving
I
beyond
love that show.
we're moving beyond like the Jedi right now, and
Yeah.
we're moving into more
Yes.
Yeah, like higher
especially
force being,
with the
yes.
Mortis statues being there. And Baylon is saying, "Oh, well, there's a power that's greater than everything that we've seen, and I'm gonna get it." Like,
I'm so excited for Baylon's character and him going to basically Mortis. I mean, that's basically what he sees at the end of season 1. So, now I'm hyped for that show. We didn't really talk about Ahsoka season 2, but I'm getting excited for that. Just talking with you guys now. Ooh.
There will be more time. And I think I
For
hype
sure.
that show up more than anybody else because it seems like that show is highly criticized, which I think is right because some of that choreography in that show was not great, But
some things could be better, but I think reflecting now, there were some cool things that were in the show, and even just talking about season 2, like even if they don't go with some of these things, I think there are some interesting plot points and interesting things to explore within Star Wars and the Force that they might cover.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. No, I loved the idea of Ahsoka. I watched episode 4 and 5 like all the time. It's probably some of my favorite Star Wars shows, just the two together. The soundtracks, I loved it. It was really fun. And if you can just do that in every episode for Ahsoka season 2, I think a lot of people would probably see that those episodes as good as I see that entire show. So yeah, let's go. I'm excited. I think Dave Filoni understands it. I just think he has the same flaws as George, and you can't survive, in my opinion, in this era of criticism with all these YouTubers and people like me to make those same mistakes over and over. So good luck to anyone that has any affiliation with Ahsoka season 2.
give us a Jacen Syndulla training arc, please.
I need it.
Please.
I need it.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
He's one of the most interesting characters in Star Wars to move forward, I think. He, like, where is he? You know what I mean? At the time of the
Is he all right?
sequels. Where is he? Seriously, he is like of the lineage of like obviously Kanan. He's got Ahsoka as his master. Basically, what I'm assuming is going to happen is he will be part of that squad.
Yeah.
He's got Ezra now. Like, what like I think the sky's the limit for this kid.
I think the bottom is the limit.
Yes.
I want to see him fall to the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also really like Ezra. I can't remember. You guys like Ezra, right? Or does one of you not like Ezra? I know. I
think Ezra's okay.
I know some people don't like Ezra, but I feel like Ezra in Ahsoka was him and Baylon for me. I think were like my favorite characters in the show, and seeing finally a live action Ezra is sick, and I think his character is very interesting. So I'd be curious to see how they handle that.
Baylon and Shin is exactly what I'm hoping for in the Starfighter movie. Baylon and Shin is exactly what I'm hoping for in the Rey movie. And I mean, like, not them specifically, but ideas of them in terms of actions. Or like skewed ideology, stuff that maybe the Jedi and the Sith were wrong, and maybe this is why we're doing this. Like, I just think that they are some of the best characters that are introduced in Star Wars, and I think they're up there with Kylo Ren. Like, I love those characters so much. I love the orange crystal. It's just different. It's
Yeah.
so intriguing, and also their attire, the way they look, the way Baylon was talking about the Jedi and the idea of it,
Yeah.
and
But not the
how
reality.
and how Ahsoka is Bo-Katan, and Ezra Bridger and Kanan Jarrus are Bo-Katan. What does that even mean? Is that they're like distorted versions of Jedi? Do you think you're more pure than them? Like, it's just like, man, I oh my god, I have to watch that damn show now. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll probably be my next show that I watch. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch The Mandalorian, and then I'm gonna probably watch that
Man,
during lunch.
I don't think I've rewatched
Shit.
Ahsoka since it came out,
Mm.
so I need to check it out again.
Yeah,
You're getting me
I'm down to
excited.
watch it with you guys. I'm down to sit there and chill and watch
Yeah.
party when you guys maybe after a day we have some terrible clubs or something, But I will say the first 2 episodes are very hard to watch, but I think that 3, 4, 5, and 6 are solid. And then the finale is kind of
Just give me more Baylon Skoll, please. Thank you.
man.
R.I.P. Ray Stevenson, but I'm
Yeah,
excited that they're continuing the character for sure.
that is the smart move. It
Yeah.
sucks. It sucks.
It
but
sucks that he
they-
passed, and
Yeah,
that, but
it's tough.
I'm glad they're continuing the character because there's
Yeah.
so much. I think there's so much potential there.
I think it pays homage to his
Yeah, to him as
performance
well.
as well.
Yeah,
Like,
because he killed it, man. He was so good in that show. He was the best part in my opinion.
yeah, no, I agree.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just looked up at the clock. We've been going for 56 minutes already. Like,
Oh wow.
I
Is it that long? Do we want to cut it there then for now?
no, I mean, what are our anything we want to talk about? Anything we want to bring up that we can talk about?
I mean, we got to keep going for hours. I don't know. I like.
Yeah,
Maybe this is a good point. Unless Dagger, you have one more thing.
when do I not have one more thing?
We
I'm
covered
just
everything.
yeah. Well, it's I just, even when I have doubts about the franchise, and of course I'm terrified about who has the keys or what's happening, I will say this, that even with all of these side projects or shelved projects or canceled projects, I'm very thankful that they were canceled, because I do believe that Lucasfilm is saving us from something worse, and in my opinion, it can always get worse. But I tell you right now, even with all the criticisms that I have and the worries, I am still here talking for 59 minutes with a bunch of bros that know about Star Wars, and I can go for another 59 minutes more if I wanted to. And that's how damn excited I am for Star Wars.
Yeah. This podcast is what gets me excited every single week. I've been making videos all week, and then
Yeah.
I get to yap with you guys, and this is becoming my favorite way to talk about Star Wars. Just throwing it out there, long form, just yapping it up with you boys. Like, it's
It's a pleasure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep posting clips. We're gonna keep trying to get some more outreach for the pod, and hopefully, I'm gonna reach out to Xfinity and try to get some higher upload speeds so we can eventually stream this. But
Dude, you got connections. Let's get it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, make sure they mess with your bit rate, because that's their bandwidth. Sorry, the bandwidth. That's what you're sharing with wherever you are, and someone may be stealing more than you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I've been there. I've been there.
Right. But yeah, I think it's probably a good place to cut it off. Bates, what you got to say?
Just that if you're listening this far, thank you so much. Like these guys have said, it's always a pleasure to just get on with my friends here and yap about Star Wars for almost an hour. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, YouTube. You guys want to shout anything else out?
Yeah, make sure you guys follow us on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is, because we're going to be streaming soon. Whenever it is, whenever it happens, it's going to be happen. And you can bet your booty that when Mandalorian Grogu comes out and Starfighter comes out, we're going to be letting you know immediately our thoughts and everything else. So you better follow this channel, fam, and ready up.
damn right. If you're listening this far, thank you so much. May the force be with you all. Good night.
Have a good one.